Let's begin. It is Saturday. So, and again, Saturdays, they're not meant for sitting around. I'll say they're for sharpening the blade, especially with where we're at in the movement. So today, I'm not just going to talk at you like I usually do. I'm going to show you exactly where we stand, exactly where the movement is headed, where I plan on taking this, and hopefully you guys joining me to help us grow faster. This isn't just something I do for you. I'm not just like, again, your parents will always tell you, right? I'm not just going to do this for you. I'm going to show you how to do it, but your job is to take initiative and join in. This movement can be as big as we can make it, right? George Washington didn't win the American Revolution by himself. He had to inspire an army. That's what I'm doing right here. An army that will make moves happen in the real and financial world and shake up the market. And by the time the old, billionaires are like, who the hell are these young kids coming in and controlling things? It'll be too late. We'll be too unstoppable. I want to make it clear that something each one of you can do today is make sure you're not just a bystander in this. I want you to be a builder of this movement. So listen to this, but also don't just be passively consuming. I want you to listen to what I'm saying and then go act on it. The things I'm telling you we're going to do play a part in being involved. Not only is it going to result in you getting a better price on our entry point, it's going to result in you getting more opportunities from having a deeper role that you've earned or a higher level in our community with your XP. It's going to come from understanding that this wouldn't exist without you guys. Because again, make no mistake, ALTURA as a whole is not just a Discord server. We're actually not just on Discord. We're on WAP as well. We have an email list. ALTURA is not just another member NFT. It's truly a syndicate, or you might hear the term protocol, right? It's a brotherhood and a living order. And although I say brotherhood, women, yes, you're allowed to. Don't get that confused. And the difference between us and everyone else out there is they're playing games, but we are building history. And I mean that seriously. That's not just a cliched term. Too many times, right, you see people develop a meme coin or an NFT project, and then people inevitably sell, right, early on. They cash in once they made some money because they understand that 99% of the time, those developers are just going to disappear into the wind. In this case, everything I'm about to do and show you that I'm doing is going to lock in the fact that we're not going anywhere. This is the early movement. So you guys can sell, and then you see the NFTs or whatever projects we come out with next continue to earn another 50, 100, 200,000%, whatever it might be. And you're going to regret not having stayed in the movement. Belief is a really hard thing. And in a market where it seems like it's so volatile and where people get burned, you need to have the dedication to see the value of a project for the actual inherent value, right? That's Warren Buffett's investment strategy. They don't just look at, the price movements of the day and the technicals. They look at the actual value underneath. And that's why they're the richest company in terms of investing in individual stocks like that. So again, the difference, don't play games, play history. I want to talk about where we stand right now. And this is the start of the Saturday update. I'm going to try to focus more on the syndicate as a whole. Tuesdays, Anthony and I hop on. Shout out Anthony. Thursdays, we cover more of like deep dives on topics. Saturday, I kind of want to, teach a little bit, but it's going to be more focused on our community stuff. If you're in the actual syndicate, if you end up buying and getting the chance to own one of the tokens, if you're early enough and quick enough, then you'll get to participate in our community building. We're going to try to put those on the weekend, I'm thinking, just because most of you guys still work 9 to 5s. That's just the life of it, right? You can't just rely on this NFT token to instantly cover all your bills. It takes time to get this stuff moving, and I'm being as realistic as possible. So we're going to do this off to the side, and eventually the tools, the resources that hopefully you'll get access to very quickly after we start, will give you the chance to start your own business, find the people to help you grow it, and then build that escape exit velocity. And I promise there's some exciting stuff that's going to come after the NFTs that's going to show you why it's not just an NFT project. It's an investment syndicate. There's a million different opportunities where you can pursue that can make each one of you money. The NFTs are just the entry token. Let me be very clear on that. And that's us, okay? We're the ones that drive that. We are the community that decides on that stuff together. And I want to be transparent. I see what's happening already in the community. Some of you guys are just farming XP. Don't get me wrong, XP is fun. It's the way to level up. It's how you get benefits. It's how you get more exclusive prices. It gamifies our process, but I need you to understand this. If you're one of those people right now, XP doesn't build the syndicate. It's just a benefit. Purpose does. So if your plan is to farm XP inside of our community and then you cash that in for a premium price just to flip your NFT 2 weeks later when you triple your money, that's great for you. But if you're not really a believer in the project, then it doesn't really matter much. Your money might be contributed to the pot, but we're building this for the people. And although your funds will help fund other business ideas and concepts in the future, we care more that you care, because you're more valuable than a couple $100 that you'll pay to get in. We can get that from someone else. And so we're not here to just be the cool server, right, with new shiny levels. We're here to be the place that people whisper in about 6 months, yo, you had to be there when there was only 84 members like there is today. Because when we're 8,888 strong, when we're fully minted out, and when we're running global masterminds, private circles, in-person meetups in cities all over the world, which is going to start from day 0 after mint ends. The people listening to this will be the ones that can say, I was there when it was just a spark. I made that commentary on the other podcast too. Grandpa, what is this ALTURA thing you've been a secret member of your whole life? Oh yeah, that's the syndicate, the protocol of individuals that came together in a time where the world economy was so unsure, where politics seemed to be crazier than ever in the news. And I invested in stability. It was only a couple $100. I made the right decision. And that group of individuals that I met up with in real life and talked to online, got to go to meetups and educate myself, way cheaper than a college education and with way more benefits than any startup fundraiser, conglomerate. That's what's going to be what gets remembered and what gets passed down. You can pass the NFT token down to your son, your grandson, their grandson, right? Because it's forever. And this is going to mean something. It's like buying a Nike Jordan 1 in like the 1990s, right? People are going to know 30 years from now what that means, but you have an original and you made the chance, or you took the chance on investing in it when it was new, and you could clearly see the value. So let you guys know where we stand though. That's the state of the syndicate. 84 members doesn't seem like a lot, but we did that in a week and a half, right? So we're clearly growing fast. And now that our marketing campaigns have been hammered out, pooling a lot more money and resources into it. Now we double, we triple, quadruple down into those campaigns. And again, you guys are going to be very disappointed if you didn't get the chance to cash in on that. The truth is that it's strong, it is growing, and it still, though, needs every single person inside of it to shift from lurker to builder, right? Obviously, we're listed on all the NFT calendars. That's not just what we are, like I said, but we do get a lot of promoters, people that want to market for us. They're not really interested in our tokens. And if you're one of those people listening, I would say, seriously read the website, read the white paper, understand why we're different, and then understand that if you invest in this could quite literally be the next CryptoPunks, where you put $200 in and you're looking at $250,000 in value because of how much our community value is going to grow and how restricted the total number is. When there's 120,000 followers on our Instagram and 250,000 people in our Discord, but we only have 8,000 NFTs. Do you guys understand how supply and demand works and how that's going to drastically shoot up our value? There's going to be a line of people waiting to buy these. That should alone, before I talk about any of the other benefits, do it for you. But if you're not convinced, let me tell you a story. A long time ago, and I'm talking about like the Knights of Templar, right? The Freemasons, the Skull and Bones Society. The people who shaped history, they didn't start with money, right? They might have been upper middle class, slight nobility, right? But they didn't have complete monopoly over the market. They weren't the billionaires, but they had the largest impact. Isn't that weird? They didn't start with armies. They started with meaning. I like to relate this a lot to the American Revolution, right? Like George Washington, if the American Revolution didn't start, what was he? Some guy, right? He decided to take action and he made the ability for his name to mean something. We're all going to die someday. And I like being very transparent about that. So when you die in 3 generations, we're still talking about George Washington. What about your name? What are you doing to build that long-lasting legacy instead of saying, yes, he was one of those founding fathers inside of the movement? And when it seems like it's so hard to get a good opportunity, when you're chasing down meme coins, when you're trying to find the best stocks that are, having quarterly earnings reports, when you're trying to like freelance your way out of the 9 to 5, you need something certain and you need something that can carry insane upside potential with less risk. That's what the rich people do. They put their money into things that can 1,000x their money, that could lose 100x, right? It's a small bet that could 1,000x, and they're taking calculated risk on that capital. And they know most of the time it's going to work out. They're playing the game correctly. And this is your upside potential token. And I'll tell you that as long as everyone participates, that's the only check we need to make it happen. These people, these groups back in history created rituals, symbols, right? Look at the Freemason symbol. They created missions, and people came because they didn't just want clout, but they wanted purpose. Purpose is a hard thing to define because it's not the same for every individual. Somebody's purpose might just be being a school teacher and educating the next generation. They might find a lot of value from that. I'll never look down on any of the teachers that helped raise me into who I am today. I really appreciate that. I have a lot to say about the school system, but I understand that a lot of those people took less money than they could have made to do that job, and it's very hard. Same with blue collar workers, things like that. It's respectable labor and it needs to be done. And if they find value in that, then that's great. Me personally, I find value in finding how much one person, which is me, can ignite in terms of a flame. Now ALTURA is already 90-ish people, right? And we are growing faster and faster every day, let alone all my followers and the 1,000 people on my newsletter already. It's crazy. None of this would have existed if I wasn't here. And it's kind of proof of how we can take things out of our mind, which we'll teach you after Mint, and you can create reality, right? You can shift reality, you can shift elements, you can make matter from your own mind. And that's the biggest secret that I think most of these secret societies tend to keep hidden. How do you actually take ideas and turn them into reality with shocking consistency and performance, right? Like with a high percent of execution. Think about every NFT project you've ever seen. If you were invested back in 2020, 2021, or maybe just now, right? You've been invested. It's hype. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people like me coming out, getting on podcasts, talking about how we're gonna be the next thing. And then you guys mint it, and then I fucking disappear off into an island in the Bahamas, Bermuda. I feel like the Bahamas are pretty nice weather, right? And I just vanish. It's like, well, see you guys. Thanks for contributing your money to this great idea. And you guys have been burned. I've personally been burned by that. I've been in NFT projects where that's happened. And so that's why we're not marketing ourselves that way, because I don't even want that bad reputation. And that's not also what we do and what we stand for. We're not just this is a cool profile picture style community. We're not just chasing a 1 week hype cycle. We are building what I call a mythos, right? If you guys are familiar with mythos, it's an idea that people can believe in, right? Like some religions can be linked to like a mythos, right? Because it's a series of stories, it's a series of ideas that people can catch on to. ALTURA is the only place where story is actually coming first, where the syndicate comes first and the community comes first. You're not buying a JPEG, right? I remember all the memes of people like screenshotting and being like, I got your Bored Ape, bro. There's your $250,000. It's on my photo gallery. Those people clearly don't know how the blockchain works, because although it's funny, and I'm sure they subtly know that that's not how it works, you can verify the picture that's in someone's wallet of them having that actual property. And most people are too dumb to see the value in that, so they'll write it off as just being a JPEG. When in reality, the JPEGs, the profile pictures, were just an early indicator of what this technology was. Imagine having the ability to put your birth certificate or put your wedding, certificate on your phone on the blockchain. So that way, if the document got shredded, or let's just say like something like I'm trying to think of like an important document, right? I'm a partial owner of the Green Bay Packers. I love saying that. It's my favorite team. And I have a stock in the Green Bay Packers. It's the only publicly owned football team. And so what if I could take that share, and instead of holding that paper receipt that could get lost, burned up in a house fire, whatever it may be, and I don't have to keep that at the bank, I can have it on my phone and say, you can go verify the Green Bay Packers issued this to me. It's a digital receipt item of this share. And if I took it to a shareholder meeting, which they have at Lambeau Field, oftentimes you can come sit in the stands and talk about what the Green Bay Packers are going to do next. It's really awesome. I could verify my way in by showing that that's valid. And most of you guys don't see that. So you write it off because you're too simple in your thinking to understand the value behind that. And you're claiming just the simplistic value of it. But at the end of the day, you're claiming a rank. You're claiming a seat with this token. It's like a ticket, right? You buy a ticket on Ticketmaster to Taylor Swift or Post Malone, right? They scan that with like a scanner gun, right? The barcode on it, and it lets you into the concert. This is the same exact thing, but you don't need anything on paper, right? It's like having it on your Apple Wallet. A lot of you guys could get that reference. I think most of the times that's actually how Apple Wallet is conducting their business. If you have a Starbucks gift card, at the end of the day, that's just Starbucks telling Apple, here's a digital item they can keep on their phone to show that they have credit with us, or that they're a gold member, or whatever it's gonna be. I use that for airport lounge access as well too. I have my priority pass on my phone. So companies are already doing this. You guys are just hearing the term NFT and writing it off like it's meme coin or something like that. But you don't see that you already do these things in real life, how your plane tickets are already on your phone. How many times have you scanned your phone instead of the physical boarding pass to get on a plane? If you've done that, then you've already been using essentially NFTs that are verified digitally. Just like in the old world, right? When you actually had one of these physical tickets, now having an NFT, when you join for life. That ticket, right? As long as I kept that Green Bay Packers share, it's not going anywhere. They might issue more. We can't, because that's how the blockchain works. But hypothetically, right, you could change the value all you want, but I still hold a physical paper copy of this. You now own the digital copy. So if you guys could understand the importance of the printing press and printing an item that is now your piece of information, a textbook, right? The Gutenberg Bible was one of the first things that we printed on the printing press. If you understand how big that was one of the biggest revolutions in history, being able to write text down and mass multiply it. Now you're doing the same thing, but digitally. And you can verify that that is legitimately recorded. Without getting too much deeper for you nerds, that is the difference. And that is why this matters. Because if you saw the printing press and printing media as being one of the biggest changes in history, we're just early. The printing press, probably initially, everyone was like, oh, that sounds cool, but I don't get how that works. It was probably the same thing, guys, hundreds of years ago. And now we're doing the same thing. It probably takes 10 to 20 years to really catch on. and you're early, because in 10 to 20 years, when everybody's buying NFTs, we're going to be one of the first substantially backed value NFTs that have significant driving economic factors behind it, like the investments we're making back in your companies and growing ourselves like a business, essentially. And when people are looking for the best ones to buy, we're going to be number one in that list. And so you guys might buy this for a tenth of an Ethereum now and resell it for 50 Ethereum like a CryptoPunk is selling. If you don't believe me, go on OpenSea.com and look up CryptoPunk. It's like 50 Ethereum, $200,000, and we're in the off season. It's not even the actual hot season yet for NFTs. That'll come this fall. And so I wanted to make that very clear. When you guys saw the spark, right, of the 80 to 90 members. Once we truly grow this and the marketing ends and we have 80,000 people lined up to buy 10% of that in tokens, and people can own more than one, you're going to be left out when the door closes. And I don't want for that to happen. So that's why I'm inviting you in. And we can get into philosophy all I want, but I want to talk about action. That's what Saturdays are about. They're about reflecting and about figuring out how we can hammer in the next set of growth. This syndicate doesn't move forward just by me talking. That's why I don't talk more than an hour on these. I barely try to get over 40 minutes. We're halfway there. It moves forward when the agents in the field execute, which are you guys. For once, I'm asking you something that no other community is asking. And it's a bigger ask, which is also why we're not the same as other communities, because we don't grow just by me putting ads on Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok or X. We grow by you guys participating, inviting your friends, and treating this like your new digital LinkedIn community, right? You're gonna get better network connection here for your business and startups than you will on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's like an old Facebook of people just thumbs upping each other's photos and not actually talking about startups and adding each other and getting on voice calls in real time to talk out ideas. That is the vision every Saturday and probably multiple times through the week that you'll be seeing when we actually mint. And then not only that, but imagine if LinkedIn handed you $50,000 to start a company that was gonna change the world in AI, and you eventually become worth $30 million in net worth from this company. You wouldn't have gotten the chance to go to a bank and ask for that money because they would have been all over you for verification. ALTURA will believe in you and we'll actually give you that money. And the money comes from all of us deciding together that your idea is worth pursuing. That's way better. Especially you go to your colleagues now, people that didn't get that opportunity, and not greedy bank managers who have to make numbers work. And you come to us and ask for the funds and you pitch your idea. And if we believe in it and if we feel like we can all benefit from that, yes, you're going to get green flagged. And that's how you get forward. It's fair opportunity. Something you never get now in the open market. This is the Saturday playbook. I want you guys to write this down or just listen to what I'm saying, because I know most of you are probably eating Chipotle or whatever. Maybe you're drinking an energy drink, protein shake, whatever. Hopefully protein shake. You guys are getting big. Anthony's probably drinking a protein shake right now, but write this down or just take note of it in your mind. I'm handing you guys out this as your next 7-day mission. If you guys are in the community, you're going to get XP for this. Invite 2 people into the syndicate today. After this ends, or even right now as I'm still speaking, add people into this live stream on Instagram or Rumble. It seems like stupid, right? Because you're like, why would I invite them to an NFT project? Well, I hope that's not going through your mind, because this is not an NFT project. You're inviting people to the next LinkedIn. That's also going to take their $100 and make it $5,000. And if you guys don't see that, you would be bad friends to not give people in your network that opportunity. If you have to come out and say, yeah, I made 50x my money, but sorry, you guys can maybe catch another similar project that's probably a rug pull, instead of sharing this idea with them. If you have to come back and see your friends still losing, well, you won on this idea by being early and seeing this live stream, that's kind of unfair. And you're kind of not being the best friend you could be if you instead invited them into this conglomerate. Don't invite random people. Don't invite bots, because we're just going to kick them anyway. They have to be engaged. They have to give a shit. People that you know that are cut from the same cloth, not just freeloaders, right? Entrepreneurs, creators, people that genuinely are trying to escape. They have to give a shit. Otherwise, this doesn't work. People who are tired of consuming and want to build. Literally just on Instagram. Share this live stream with 2 people if you're on here. If you're on Discord, just share the invite link. Go to hit /invites, and then you'll get your custom invite link. We'll track that and actually enter you guys in an NFT giveaway, which could be hundreds or thousands of dollars coming into your pocket just for doing that on Discord. So that's your first mission. It's very easy. It's like 4 button clicks. It's hit share and click your friend, hit share and click your friend. That's way too easy to ask you guys. Second, drop 1 piece of content. A meme, and we already have made plenty. A screenshot, it could be a tweet, or just retweet ours. Something that says, I'm part of this. And if you guys don't jump on board, by the time we're on Times Square and we're flashing across the big screen, and everyone's like, damn, that looks like a sick thing. I wish I could have bought in at 0.1 Ethereum. It's 40 or 50 Ethereum a piece. We don't want people to miss out. And we're going to have more opportunities in the future after this very small cap mint for people to get in. But if you're not in now, that's when most of the value gets delivered. And so put something out there to let people know about this opportunity and be the good person that helps grow their network. You guys not only get to go on LinkedIn and search up your friends and hit send requests to connect with people, but we're doing it for you. We're bringing in, across the server, let's say 50 people a day at some point that'll have every single interest that you have in mind. E-commerce, maybe stock trading, did social media marketing. It could be crypto or meme coins, right? Whatever those things are, people are getting added that have a similar thinking mind to you because they believe in what ALTURA stands for. And people are doing the networking for you. People are going to be chatting in the general chat and you can just chime in and boom, you're automatically connected. You don't have to go find a networking conference in the real world. You don't have to go find a gym and try to talk to random strangers there. You can just do it in our community. And eventually, guys, like I said, after Mint, we're going to have the in-person real world meetups. These are going to be open door. So we're going to have members that get special preference there, and we're going to have exclusive things just for you guys. But we're likely going to open the doors to the general public. And we might even sell tickets. That way you guys can make some of that money back. And then random strangers can come into our TED Talk style lectures and network with you guys. This is going to be massive. And you guys are going to have insane clout, insane credibility, and you're going to have celebrity status from being one of the holders, especially if you hold more than one. So that's your second thing. Just drop something or a tweet, as easy as it is, a story post that just reshares one of our things and says, I'm part of this, okay? Do that in the invites and you guys are good for this week's mission. And then join in the chat and start engaging, ideally. Remember, this is the line when you post. This isn't a project. I'm not investing in an NFT drop. Stop using that terminology. I'm investing in a syndicate. I'm buying my way into the most elite country club, the most elite back room for way less cost than it would ever cost you to get into $1 million network. I promise you that. Mission 3, as optional, was just what I said. Don't just farm XP, but engage. Add as much value as you can. We have a channel where you can go drop a bio and introduce yourself. And you can find other people like myself, I'm already listed, that have put my bio out there for you guys to get to know me. Start a conversation, reply to me, give people an idea, ask a question, and just push the community forward because you guys have to care about this. Movements are built in the shadows before they're ever seen in the light. And if you execute those 3 missions today, we're not just helping ALTURA grow, but we're proving that you are a core operator in this. It's your Paul Revere riding through the night with a lantern, getting people off their feet, right? Because none of this happens when you say, I hope someone's going to fix the political system. I hope someone's going to fix the economic system. Somebody should stand up for that. It's the bystander effect. And you are being played in a manipulative psychological way because most people know you're not going to give enough of a shit to stand up and be the one that takes action. I didn't want to do it for so long. And then one day I'm like, enough is enough. Somebody's got to light the flame. And so I made the social media. I started the Discord. I started working on the art. I put this out here and I did the hardest part so you guys can float with me and just continue expanding on that growth. Ride the wave and make a bunch of money doing so. I promise you. That leads us into the vision of what we're doing here. I want to give you a glimpse of the future. 84 people are in here today. We're still early. 8,888 tomorrow in the next few weeks. What does that actually mean? It means that a whitelist of people will fight to get inside, to get the lowest price, because they're guaranteed to make money when you buy in the whitelist. When you do the chatting to get to level 5 and unlock your whitelist status. It's very easy if you're actually active. It means that a mint will sell out in minutes. And when you're out, when everyone's holding on to theirs, when we keep buying the floor price up and members are rushing to be on that wait list, you're going to miss out on 1,000% growth. It means that live events where people will walk into, random strangers, or they'll buy a ticket, whatever it's going to be, can feel what this syndicate is about and the way we actually care about entrepreneurs. When we fly in $1 million speakers, when we invite billionaires, when we go on the radio shows, when we go on Spotify, like our Ascended podcast right here, and talk, and it grows. You guys are going to want to be part of that. So you can say, you know what? I'm actually the VIP. I'm the holder inside of this. I made the decision to commit early. It means a digital platform that rivals anything on the market, right? You guys have heard of Hustlers University from Andrew Tate. This is that on steroids because we meet up in the real world. We actually give money back to you guys. It's not just going to Andrew Tate's 18th car. The money that we're raising, I don't keep. It goes back to you guys because I already make money, and we're going to definitely make money holding our own NFTs. I will hold NFTs myself, and that's how I will cash in on value like a CEO, right? Holding value in the company to grow what they do. I do it with soul. And it means for every single one of you who's here right now or will listen to this recording when it comes out, you'll be forever stamped as a founder, as a OG, as a holder, one of the elite that took action. And that tag, no money can buy. When there's 1 million followers on our social media accounts and they see that you are a founder, you're one of the people that have the profile picture on Instagram when you're commenting on our post, you're one of the people that gets to go to the meetups, they're going to beg for your token. They're going to pay you top dollar for it. And you're probably not even going to want to sell because the thousands of dollars of subscriptions from other people's software that they're giving you, the meetups, the education that we're dropping is going to be too valuable for you to want to give up, even for $100,000. And you pass it down to your grandson and say, hey, this is worth $250,000. So you could sell it if you needed to. You could be set if you ever wanted to, but use it while you're young, grandson. Educate yourself. Learn how business actually works. Get resources to start up your company. And then if you ever find that you don't need it anymore, sell it, make $250,000. And that is my gift, my inheritance to the next generation. Do you guys see that? 'Cause that's the vision that I can't paint out because it's not real yet. And it becomes real as we manifest it together. That's how any of this even got here in the first place. This podcast, me talking to you guys, this haircut. I had to have the vision before I went and get my haircut today. I had to explain what I wanted my hair to look like. And then the barber, right? He saw the vision and he took the scissors and he said, well, it's not going to look like that right now, but eventually if I shave the sides right here and we clip up this part, I can turn that vision into an actual reality in appearance. We make things into matter with our mind. Most people think your brain is a clump of cells and that all of a sudden gains this like consciousness. But what everyone's known through history is we already were conscious. Our brain is just the synapses that are firing. It makes life and it makes things into reality. If that seems too meta for you, then you're clearly barely on the path of getting this education. And there's probably not a greater need than now to get into this. We're not waiting for permission, right? We're not waiting for recognition. We're not going to wait until we get on Times Square because then it's too late for you. We're building now, and we only have to build once. 84 members is not going to go down. It's going to go to 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 100,000. And if you wait until then, like everything else, like buying Bitcoin in 2020 versus 2010, the amount of growth that you miss out on this time will probably actually be greater than buying Bitcoin. And I'm telling you that because you will, mark my words, come back to this podcast and say, God damn, he was right. And I'd rather have kept that money for my Spotify subscription or my Netflix and chose comfort over building something hard. And that's not going to get you respect in the long term, like investing in this will. So here's how we close this out today. Altura is not entertainment. It's not just a cool logo. It's not just a cool NFT operator. It's not just background noise. Altura is a mission. Play that on my military experience and background. Missions are won by execution. Planning is great. I've explained the plan, but now it's time to execute. We can only sit and dream about it so long. Now we have to move. So today you've got the 3 missions. Invite 2 people, bring in the right people. People you genuinely would feel add to this pool, want to buy the NFTs, actually give a shit about getting the funding, having the resources to get their software and subscription or companies off the ground. Create one piece of signal in the noise. Clear up everyone's minds, Charlie Kirk, all the like political stuff, war in Gaza, everything in the world is crazy. You need to cut through that. You need to lock in on business and then go back when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and actually change the world, because we will. But right now we have to drive value first. We can go fix all the problems. We can go give a shit about who's running for what office later. But right now, unless we have any money at disposal, none of that can really happen unless you guys believe in it. Soon we will shape the next future of this country, of this world, and leave our mark in it. Engage inside the syndicate. When we regroup, when we look back, I'll know exactly who stepped up. I already know your names personally. I'm getting to know you guys because I'm chatting in the same groups as you guys. And I'll know who just watched. I'll know who didn't give a shit. I get to meet you guys face to face. When there's 50,000 of you, I won't get to know everybody's name. So engage now and get to know the core team. It'll mean a lot and it'll increase your trust. My final note is this. Most people consume, few people create, as you know, but the rare ones that actually make and forge history, the ones who change history, they work in syndicates. I've explained this before. The Enlightenment, Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, the American Revolution, Civil War, World Wars, they were all groups of elite individuals that game planned it. They found the answers. It wasn't that one guy that changed it all in business. Be rare. Be part of that group. Be legendary. This is Altura. With that said, it's also Saturday. Have a great rest of your day. The link to join is going to be attached below or just in my bio for wherever you're watching this. Invite people. Actually take action and show that you're not just consuming our chats. You're not just passively reading. You're messaging. You're bringing people in and you show them that I actually have the balls. You actually have the nuts to go out there and believe in something real when everyone else is just scared. They're investing in meme coins scared. They're betting money and gambling. They're opening a new parlay. But in the back of their minds, they're scared. They need an exit. They need something to 10x for them. And I'm telling you, you can get the same results. You can 50, 1,000x your portfolio maybe in this. But you have to believe. because it only exists, it only will 1000x if you believe it will 1000x. And everyone believes that. And everyone comes together to drive that value. You guys see that. And so I will echo myself all day with a megaphone, walking around the square like an idiot until it eventually catches on. And then I don't look like the idiot anymore. And neither do you. You actually look like the genius for once in your life. You don't get burned. Have a great rest of your day. And if you're right, and if you're meant for this, I'll see you inside.